PR can play a critical role in finding a brand new teammate to play competitive with, or showing people that you're the best. And this is a direct showing of how well you're placing in tournaments. If you're stuck on 0 PR or low PR, then this video is perfect for you, and it's going to show you why you're stuck on low or 0 PR. Thank you to E4Z for being a positive member of the JKC community, and let's get right into it. Make sure you like the video for the algorithm. I have a revelation for you. If you're below 100 PR or even below 1000 PR, you will not be finding good teammates. Most of your teammates will be worse than you at the game, and it's important to accept that as a possibility. If you're a good player below 1000 PR, most of the time you'll be carrying if you play duo tournaments, which is why I suggest if you're really low PR, you start looking at the solo events. Things like the Solo Victory Cash Cups, they can give you pretty solid PR if placed well in, and you're not relying on anyone. And if you do play duos, make sure you're going easy on your teammate. It is not easy carrying the team, but likewise, it is not easy having someone carry you. It can be a bit of a hit to the ego and a bit demoralizing. So if you're carrying your teammate, make sure to be nice to them and let them know that what they're putting in is fine. This kind of mentality on not having to rely on your teammate as such is a great way to get better, because you're going to be so much better at 2v1ing. And that means you're going to be better at solos when third parties come, meaning your PR is going to go up so much faster in the process. One mentality you definitely cannot have as a low PR player is always blaming the teammate. It is not always the teammate's fault. Sometimes they might have made a mistake, but calmly pointing it out to them is going to be a lot better than getting angry at them and getting tilted at them. More than likely, your teammate will have been aware that they've made a mistake and will only need it pointed out. And even if they haven't, you pointing it out could be great for them. Just make sure you're not constantly at the back of each other's throats, blaming each other for the games that you're playing. Do you see the pros doing that? No. And you wonder why? They're top of the rankings, and they know that calm, collected conversations between matches, or even saving the improvements till after the tournament, is a lot better than going at each other's throats halfway through the tournament. Tournaments are best with a great warm-up, and this red versus blue dome map is one of the best warm-up maps in Fortnite right now. If you watch my videos every day, consider checking this map out and popping code JKC in the Fortnite item shop, as these are the two best ways to support me. Thank you, and let's get into some more ways that you can increase your PR from the 0 point. Honestly, one thing that separates low PR teams to high PR teams is their communication skills. Communication is so important in Fortnite, and being clear and concise with your comms is the only way to make sure your teammate gets the information it needs to get. Jivan actually touched on this on his recent video. He made the good point that comms has to be the perfect length of time. They can't be too long and they can't be too short. They have to give the perfect amount of information the player needs. A good example of the perfect amount of information: if someone's hacking at your top in endgame, just shouting at the tops is a good way to tell your teammate that there is someone hacking at the tops or shooting at the tops. If I'm mid-endgame and I'm trying to string a full sentence together of "there are teammates hacking on our tops, watch out," that's going to be so much longer than it needs to be, and it's going to already clog up the comms and mean that you're not going to get the information to your teammate in time. Likewise, you can't just say up, up, up either, because they need to know where and what the danger is. Looking at the tops basically is a universal for there are players above us, make sure you're holding, make sure you're looking at them. But pro players will have this down to a T, and especially players with high PR will not have problems communicating. For efficient communication, I'd recommend getting someone that speaks the same language as you 100% as a given, but maybe even someone from the same country as you. And there's no accents in the way, so there's no accents getting in the way of your comms. I know for a fact when I tried to play with some German people before, they were struggling to understand what I was saying, and they were probably experiencing a similar thing from my end. However, this is a super controllable thing, because you can actually control it, and it is separate to everything else happening in the game, such as mechanics, rotates, and heals, such as mechanics and rotates. So we've been through our communication, we've been through blaming our bad teammates, we've mentioned that you're probably going to be better than your teammate for the first 1000 PR, and we have mentioned communication. But what about discipline? This is something that is not involved in competing, and it means that you have to be doing stuff that people don't want to do. How many people do you see aim dueling? How many people do you see free building? How many people do you see practicing their piece control? These are the boring stuff. There's stuff that people don't want to do, but there's stuff that you have to do. And the people that are doing these things are rocketing ahead of others because they have the discipline to make themselves do it. One of my best tips is putting on music, and the PR will come floating in, trust me. To be good at anything, you need good discipline, and Fortnite is no exception here. Discipline is needed to win the day out and get you more PR. You might be thinking it all comes from the mind, and you would be right, including having the power in your mind to not WK everyone first match. This is something that a lot of new players make the mistake of, or even veteran players on low PR. They will think that going for a 20 kill win on their first game in a solo cash cup is the best way to go. In a duo cash cup it's the best way to go. Well, I can tell you it's not. Unless you're playing like a mix-up Monday where the average play level is going to be down the drain, then going for a massive high kill game is not what you're going to want to do and can actually make you waste like 3-4 of your games straight off the bat. Playing consistent is the way to go, because even if you do get a high kill match, you're going to end up being in super good lobbies, and being less than 1000 PR, you're not really going to be ready for these lobbies and you're going to go down, shooting down the leaderboard, knocking your confidence anyway. So just play consistent, stay at like midway through the leaderboard, and then at the end you can really up the consistency and the players will fall off one by one and you'll rise up the leaderboard. I'm here to address the claims that your duo partner cannot be your friend. A lot of pros have taken this stance, including Tayson on Twitter. Personally, I cannot see anything wrong with being friends with your duo partner as long as you both understand and point out each other's mistakes. If it gets to the point where you're not willing to point out mistakes to each other, then you're too friendly. I'm just kidding, there's no such thing as too friendly. However, you've got to be able to point out each other's mistakes or the duo is not going to work. You can't tiptoe around issues. You guys are not 4 years old. You guys can handle mistakes. Just don't be afraid of upsetting your duo partner and tell them how it is. If they made a terrible mistake in the game, tell them about it after the tournament. In game 4, that was a really stupid play. Honestly, I think we could have done better by doing this instead. Just make sure it's constructive and you're not just insulting them. Though an insult can't hurt every now and then, if you know what I mean. As I alluded to earlier in the video, the best way to get 1000 PR is via solos. It is the most well-rounded game mode and you have to be good at everything to be good at solos. So playing solo tournaments is a great way to improve and get PR because you need nobody else. You have to rely on yourself, and that is the only person you need to be good at solos. My solo placements started off really poor, however they have improved recently, and that is because I've been taking the time, as we mentioned earlier, to go down back in mechanics and just work on mechanics and get better at fighting. This is then slowly transferred into my solo gameplay, and as I don't need to rely on a single person in solos, it's just me. If I make a mistake, it was me. If I win, then that was also me. Playing solos means that you're taking responsibility for what happens in your match, which is super useful. I know having low PR for a long period of time can be very demoralizing. However, I want you to remember the best quote of all time. Come on, say it with me. Never back down, never what? I can't hear you. That wasn't nearly loud enough. Never back down, never what? Much better, glad to hear it. And once you get 1000 PR, you can start working on becoming a pro. A pro player could even be a full-time job in the future, and if you want to learn how Fortnite can be a full-time job for you, watch this one on the screen right now, as it's a super important video that I've made that you need to watch. Thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.